Everyone thinks the slim version of any guitar is just a marketing tax on the same old model, but here is the thing. The Seagull S6 Slim actually changes how you play because the neck, tone woods, and build all push you to play cleaner and faster. I went in skeptical, spent 3 weeks with it across daily practice, 2 recording sessions, a coffee shop set, and a couple of alternate tuning experiments, and I did find 2 quirks you absolutely need to know. But I also found something that explains why this Canadian-made cedar-topped dreadnought carries a premium and a 4.9 rating. Before we dive into what I discovered, if you are already leaning yes and want to grab the best current price, I have the link below. But stick around because what I found about headroom, neck width, and recording tone might surprise you and save you money. I picked up the S6 Slim because I needed a dewy tall acoustic that would not fight me. I love the classic S6 voice, but the original's 1.8-inch nut can feel wide when I am switching between electric and acoustic in the same week. I had a run of back-to-back gigs and some demo sessions coming up, and I needed something comfortable that would still project without sounding brittle. My past attempts at budget-friendly acoustics got me close. A Yamaha with great consistency but a bright, scooped tone that needed too much EQ, and a short-scale travel guitar that was comfy but lost low-end authority. I wanted S6 warmth, tighter bass, and quicker fretting. I also worried the Slim might cram my fingerstyle arrangements. Stakes felt real. I did not want to chase setup tweaks 3 days before a wedding set. Test 1 was the living room fingerstyle test. Out of the box, the Seagull S6 Slim's pressure-tested solid cedar top responded immediately to a light touch. The 25.5-inch scale gives it just enough snap, while the Canadian Wild cherry back and sides keep the low end tight. On a simple D to G arpeggio, I measured about 6 seconds of usable sustain on the open G string before it naturally decayed into the room. Notes bloomed fast with that cedar sweetness in the mids that sits right under a vocal. The 1.72-inch nut width made thumb-over chords and quick hammer-ons feel easier than the standard S6 for me. But then, on wider fingerstyle spreads, I did occasionally brush adjacent strings, something that basically never happens on the 1.8-inch S6 original. Test 2 was the pick-and strum set. Medium pick, 0.73 and 0.88 gauges, full open chord choruses. Here is where cedar's character shows up. It gets loud, but if you dig in hard, it compresses a bit earlier than spruce. That is not a flaw, it is a voice. The upside is that the wild cherry and cedar combo keeps the low end from booming. In a small room, it projects a crisp mid-range and a tight bottom end that does not overpower vocals. But then, if you are a heavy-handed bluegrass strummer, you may want the spruce-topped variant for more headroom. Test 3 was recording. I ran a mono large diaphragm condenser at 12 inches off the 12th fret, then a stereo pair later. The S6 Slim needed minimal corrective EQ. A gentle 2 dB cut around 200 Hz to clean up room buildup, a 2 dB shelf at 8K Hz for air, and it sat. Compared to a laminate dreadnought I keep as a beater, I spent less time chasing the nasal mids. Seagull's custom polished semi-gloss finish and TUSQ nut and saddle contribute to the clarity and tuning stability here. But then came alt tunings. In DAD-GAD and Open G, intonation was within 3 cents at the 12th fret after retune and a few minutes of string stretch. The tapered headstock keeps the string path straight and the silver leaf maple neck is rock solid. That mattered across layered takes. Test 4 was the playability and setup check. Out of the box, action measured about 2.2 on the low E and roughly 1.7 on the high E at the 12th fret. No buzz, clean fretwork, and the neck finish felt fast. Over a 45-minute set, my left-hand fatigue was noticeably lower than with the wider neck S6. Bar chords and quick sus2 to sus4 changes were easier. But here is the trade-off. If your style is all-out fingerstyle with intricate classical spacing, the Slim's narrower nut may feel slightly cramped. Also worth noting, cedar is softer. The top will show pick marks faster. No case included, so budget for a gig bag or hard case. Here is what surprised me most after roughly 30 hours of mixed playing. The S6 Slim does not just feel narrower. It subtly changes your attack in a good way. I found myself playing a touch lighter, getting more consistent articulation and landing chord transitions cleaner. And it still sounds like an S6. Warm cedar mids, a tight low end that behaves in a mix, and enough sparkle up top without the glassy brittleness some spruce-topped guitars give you at this price. Versus a Yamaha FG830, the S6 Slim was less scooped and sat under vocals more naturally. The Yamaha was brighter and a bit more metallic in the trebles. Versus a Taylor Academy-level guitar, the Seagull had a fuller fundamental and felt more resonant under the right hand. Compared to the standard S6 original, the Slim trades a bit of fingerstyle elbow room for speed and comfort. If you loved the S6 tone but wished the neck felt a touch more like your electric, this is exactly that. Is it too good to be true? No. You are paying for Canadian build quality, a pressure-tested solid cedar top, silver leaf maple neck, wild cherry back and sides, a real 25.5-inch scale, TUSQ nut and saddle, and that 1.72-inch nut width that actually changes playability. The caveats are real: cedar's lower headroom for heavy strummers, a top that will show wear, and no included case. But for singer-songwriters, hybrid pickers, and anyone moving between electric and acoustic, the value is there at around $699. Now that you know the Slim gives you speed without losing the S6 voice, grab it before pricing bumps or stock swings hit. I will drop the best current price in the description. If you need stage-ready electronics, also peek the S6 Slim QIT version. Bottom line, the Seagull S6 Slim is worth the extra spend if you want the S6 warmth with a faster neck and better everyday playability. Skip it if you are a hard-driving flatpicker who wants maximum headroom, or if you live solely in wide fingerstyle arrangements. The original 1.8-inch S6 will suit you better. For most singer-songwriters and home recordists, this is the sweet spot. Pay for the neck, stay for the tone.